Hello everyone and welcome to The No Show. I'll be your host Nathan Orenstein and today I'm going to be reviewing The Plague. The Plague is written and directed by Charlie Polinger and stars Everett, Blunck, Kayo, Kenny Rasmussen, and Joel Edgerton. We follow Ben, a 12-year-old who's forced into the social hierarchy of a water polo camp full of kids who already know each other. Not only that, but one of the kids has developed a mysterious illness that the boys simply refer to as the Plague, and it supposedly spreads through touch. Point blank, The Plague is one of the most anxiety-inducing films I've ever seen. It combines the social anxiety of trying to fit in as a kid, surrounded by a bunch of bullies, with the fear of contracting this mysterious illness that no one seems to have any information about. I guess I would describe this as a sort of psychological horror film, but hardly anything that happens here is outside the realm of possibility. Luckily, I never personally found myself in a situation where I was at a sleepaway camp trying to fit in with the cool kids so they wouldn't bully me, but I imagine there are a lot of folks out there who can relate to this film and attest to its legitimacy. The actual plague stuff is more of a background threat, honestly, and the real horror here is how brutal and awful children can be, and how even the best kids can succumb to the pressure of fitting into a social hierarchy like this. As I'm describing this, I do realize it sounds kind of dumb. I get that. It sounds like some anti-bullying PSA that you'd watch in school and then the teacher would be like, "Don't be like those kids." I assure you, it is much more than that. Like I said earlier, this is one of the most stressful movies I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of movies. The Plague is the real deal. The biggest thing I have to applaud here is honestly the cast. Joel Edgerton is obviously an established actor, and he is great in his few scenes as the head coach of this water polo camp. But with the exception of those maybe 3 or 4 scenes, every other actor in this film is a child portraying a 12 or 13-year-old boy. And to be honest, this is probably the most impressed I've ever been by a cast primarily composed of children. Everett Blunck, who plays our protagonist Ben, gives one of my favorite performances of the past year. Watching him desperately trying to fit in to avoid getting bullied while still trying to maintain a friendship with the outcast is honestly heartbreaking, and the way he's able to balance such conflicting emotions and anxieties in his performance is truly what anchors this film. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Kayo is scarily good at playing the lead bully here, and he does so without ever coming off as a caricature of a villain. Ultimately, I have to applaud writer-director Charlie Polinger here too, as he not only wrote a script that felt very real to these middle school-aged characters, but he was also able to guide them all to fantastic performances in what was the first film for most of them. He also just directs this with true horror sensibilities without it ever distinctly feeling like a horror movie. I think by exercising this sort of restraint, he's able to let the screenplay and the performances speak for themselves, and the rest serves to support that. The sound design and original score here also add to that tension and anxiety a lot, and so does the use of darkness and some pretty claustrophobic cinematography. I do think the film goes a little over the top in some places, but it mostly nails that sweet spot of unrelenting anxiety in a situation that could absolutely exist in reality. The Plague was a hell of a way to kick off the year, and it's a film I will not be forgetting anytime soon. Watching this newbie try to navigate the already established brutal social hierarchy of this water polo camp is a lot to take in, and the realism here only adds to that horror. It's a nightmare film from start to finish, and I mean that in the best way possible. I'm going to be giving The Plague an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed the review, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And if you've seen The Plague already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. Thanks for watching.